field even more?
Yeah, it does. And but like I said, it gave me some time to recap. Spent a lot more time in the film room, I think, than I would have if I was healthy the whole time. So it gave me a little bit more time to study the game and understand a lot of the concepts and things, and study some of our upcoming opponents. So.
How do you think you'll be used this year? Is there anything different we'll see from you? How much do you think you'll have your hand on the ground versus how much you'll be out, standing up in the slot?
I'll be used, the best way to win. If I'm in the slot, if I'm at the one receiver, if I'm, in the up position, if I'm in a three-point stance on the line, however, whatever defense gives us, and whatever our best chance is to succeed on offense is probably how they'll use me. So.
Jeff, your dad played basketball for Michigan, right?
Yeah.
What's it like game week around your house?
It's my favorite week. It's just kind of surreal, I grew up going to a lot of their games just for my dad. My dad's really good friend was director of tickets there for a long time, and so I spent some game days up there on the field. Some homecoming games I remember I was up there for, and I went to all the home games for a whole year when I lived in Manchester, a small town outside Ann Arbor, with the Billet family when I played hockey. And they had season tickets, and so I went to every home game for a whole year. But it's just kind of surreal, it's special seeing my dad up there, and just bet, he would have never thought that, and 21 years later after he had me, that, I'd be playing for Ohio State, and he'd be sitting there wearing an Ohio State jersey after he was the captain of Michigan basketball. So
he does have an Ohio State jersey.
Yeah, he has one that says "Dad" on the back. So.
On the hockey front, have you come around to the Blue Jackets a little bit, or are you still?
I try to stay away from it. I played my whole life growing up, and I kind of gave it up after I lived with the Billet family in Manchester my 8th grade year. I lived with Austin Watson, who was the 17th overall pick by Nashville a few years back, and he went to the OHL when he was a sophomore. And it's just hockey's a different world, and so I gave it up, came home, and Dad told me to try out for football. Said I wasn't going to do nothing, so I gave it a shot, and it all worked out. So.
You're pretty avid hunter.
Yeah.
What do you like to hunt?
I do a lot of hog hunting down south. A hog's kind of a nuisance now. They're all over the place. Deer hunt, turkey hunt, kind of do it all. Coyote hunt. Shot a few bobcats in my day. So.
How much do you get to do during the season?
None. Maybe I'll do it a Saturday when I go home for a bye weekend. My best high school buddy manages about 2,000 acres in the middle of the state. So when I go home, I get to spend some time with him and go out and hunt.
Have you ever go with Schlegel?
I have not been with Coach Schlegel yet. That's one of my bucket list things.
Hey Jeff, you played Michigan State in Big Ten.